Kawhi, 6 steals, 4 steals in the fourth. He had that big steal, basically the final possession for you guys. And, when we've been talking about Kawhi throughout the summer and leading into camp and throughout the early parts of the season, the discussion focused more on the offensive side of things and him missing so much time last year, and will he be a little bit rusty offensively? What about defensively? Were you early in the year concerned at all? Did you see any rust? And if so, has he officially knocked all that off?
I don't think I saw much rust defensively. I did see him possibly sitting back a little bit because I think he was trying to see physically how he would do minutes-wise, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure he was as aggressive as he can be more consistently. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think he's physically feeling pretty good right now. Minutes are up and all that kind of stuff, and he's playing really hard at both ends.
What goes into the decision for him resting, whether it be back-to-back? Is it a meeting with the trainers, himself, you? Who has the most impact or the most input on those decisions?
Well, I think initially we were just playing it pretty cautiously just to not get ahead of ourselves and kind of ease him back in there. We've taken most of the minute restrictions off. There was kind of all kinds of them, length of each stint, total for the game, back-to-back, et cetera. So we removed most of those, and it's usually, it's Alex McKechnie, the head of our sports medicine here, and Kawhi and the team doctors sit down after each game that there's before the next back-to-back and see how we feel, really, and go from there.
Well, when it comes to the back-to-backs, I'm not saying this sarcastically at all. I think you guys have 4 left. What's the point of him playing in back-to-backs now? I mean, do you feel like you have to play him? Or?
We're about now. We're getting to this time of the year where we're in the back end of things, and we're kind of ramping it down just to make sure we got enough left to peak for playoff time. So you're probably right. It doesn't make that much sense to me either. Although I don't give it a lot of thought. I just kind of take the weeks and games as they come. That was news to me that we had 4 left. You just broke that to me right there.
Yeah, that's what you get here. This is like 60 Minutes, man. Sports journalism 101. With Nick Nurse, head coach of the Raps. We've referenced some of the media pieces that have been out. It's all about the courtship of Kawhi, and we will, I promise you, we'll move on to other players and other parts of the operation here in a moment. But I know there's a piece coming up in Sports Illustrated. Chris Mannix wrote it, and you're quoted in it. There was an ESPN piece last week or 2 weeks ago, and you were quoted in that about your role in this whole process. And you guys have been really open, about everything. Was that like was that something that you guys decided from the get-go, that if anyone's willing to ask you about the courtship, you're willing to talk about it?
I guess so. I mean, I don't really see many secrets to keep or anything to hide or anything like that. For me, it's fairly simple. Like I keep saying that there's a bunch of things we know, right? There's a bunch of things we know that are kind of constant. It's an amazing city and amazing fans and a great organization. It gets cold here in the winter. We know all those things, right? And really, my job is to let him perform at his finest and our team to have a great year and then kind of let the chips fall where they may.